What's happening, everybody? Joe Ray with the Wire Down Show. 3 studios in 1. Today we're going to take it to the Boulevard Cantina. Special guests, they came a long ways from Fresno, California. It's the Eastside Car Club and Viclas. They're going to roll right in. Check this out. All right, everybody, here we go. Eastside Car Club and Viclasos. Lots of cameras up there, Mint.
All right.
There's a lot of drinks up there, too, just as well. We're going to get your story. Follow me to the bar. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Wire Down Show. We're here at the grand opening, premier grand opening of the Boulevard Cantina. And our patrons, I usually say special guests, our bar patrons are the Eastside Car Club and Viclas. They're here to tell the story. They've been around for over 32 years and they come from Fresno. So here we go. Guys, introduce yourselves. We'll go to the left side of the bar over here. Tell everybody your name.
My name is Ruben Ramos, originally from LA. I've been in Fresno for 10 years, and I've been with the club for about 4 years.
4 years now?
Yep.
My name is Matthew. I've only been with them for about a year or so. I have the gold bike. It's called Stardust.
Nice.
I'm Louis Olvera. I'm the former president of the Eastside Car Club from 94 to 2025. And our new president, that's Gilbert Casades, is our new president.
Ralph Munoz, been with the club for 32 years, vice president, own a Harley also, and a couple of cars.
My name is Vince Gonzalez, and I've been around the club, painting for the club since 1998, and just having fun, enjoying all this stuff with all the guys.
Thank you for having us.
More than welcome, guys. So before we start, we got to all get to know who you guys are. Obviously, you started off back in 94, and you've gone over 3 decades of car clubbing. When did the bikes hit the scene? When did you start to allow bikes to fly colors, and when did that all happen?
That happened about probably 3 years ago, somewhere around there. Well, 4 years ago.
About 3 years.
I know Vince was always wanted to talk about, he was always talking about getting into the bike scene. And one day I called him out of the blue. It was about 3-4 years ago. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting a Harley. And after that, it was over. He kind of convinced me a little bit, and now I got one, and so then after a while I called Louis,
Yes.
and I said, hey, I got a Harley, and we I think we're going to do some Viclas here, and he goes, okay. I go, well, what do you think? He goes, find me one. So we went out and found him one, and the rest is history. So he's building one also. So, and that's that he has a car also.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So it is a part of the culture.
correct.
2-wheeled
Correct.
lowriders. The wires, the chrome, the pipes, the candy paint jobs now that are all over the place on these.
Right.
And most of the car clubs out there were infiltrated with the guys with bikes, but a lot of them, those guys own cars too and flew the plaque.
Yeah.
So it was easy to slip that into a branch off of the tree, right?
Right.
It's all part of the culture. So, and you see it everywhere now. And I know there's a biker code that's out there, but I mean, it eased in there to a point where, you know, the car clubs accepted it and everybody else did. And you see it everywhere. And that form of art, that rolling canvas, whether it's on 2 wheels or 4 4 wheels, it's out there to be presented.
Right.
Um, so before we start, we got to all get to know who you guys are. Obviously, you started off back in 94, and you've gone over 3 decades of car clubbing. When did the bikes hit the scene? When did you start to allow bikes to fly colors, and when did that all happen? saying that, there are a lot of guys out there that are in car clubs that had their own cars before and they want to get away from it. Sometimes low riding, it could be monotonous after a little while, or you could become bored. But it's always good to take a proper perspective, take 2 steps back, look at what you have, car cover it maybe if you get bored of the color, and jump in your 4x, jump in your sports car, whether it's a Jaguar, do something else just to pull you away. But the other easiest way to go are motorcycles, be dangerous or not. And I'm going to tell you right now, as we get going here, being with Lowrider at that time, the big rim cars were not really accepted too well. It took a long time for big wheels to be accepted into the Lowrider scene. But as soon as we introduced one of our magazines and featured Viclasos only, no one said one thing about it. Revolucion was the magazine back then. We had fun with it for a couple of years until that whole brand of all the motorcycle brands were sold at one time, so we just didn't follow up with it. But it's the only thing that I can look at. Pedal cars, bicycles, model cars, RC cars.
Yeah.
There was never even a glitch, not even a bump when it came to the motorcycles, because like it or not, like the Kennedy car, every man that builds a lowrider does like a motorcycle.
Right.
So it's accepted big time. And it should never have been, had to be accepted. It just fit right in. And it's part of our lowriding culture. So we're going to go back those decades when the club started. What were your influences back then? What's the lowrider culture like out there in Fresno?
Well, the culture there is really good culture. The lowrider community is really goes on. Every weekend, there's always something going on, especially at Roding Park, Kings Canyon. There's always cruising at our city. But other than that, it's the culture's been really, really good.
Back in the 90s, even the 80s, that's where we cruised, was Kings Canyon. So one of the big spots, or the big events, was the Individuals Car Show. So when the Individuals Car Show came in June, that's when all of us, we were like, hey, let's go cruise it. Let's go cruise Kings Canyon. From Kings Canyon, we went to Belmont. From Belmont, we went to Roding Park, and then we went back to Kings Canyon again.
Yeah.
So we have a strong lowrider community there. We have a lot of car clubs there right now. We have a lot of hopping clubs out there.
Is Kings Canyon always?
Kings Canyon. It's
capital
always been.
cruising spot
It's
for
always
Fresno?
been.
Right,
back
yeah.
Linear Boulevard.
Way back
Yeah,
when.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like
Now
it's like
now
What is it
it's
like
Fulton.
What is it like though that it's called a canyon? Because I've been to Fresno quite a few times, right?
yeah.
But why is it called a canyon? Is
I
it?
think that's
that road takes you to
Kings Canyon National Park.
To the national
Oh,
park.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what the name of the road is.
Right.
Yeah.
Kings
So
Canyon.
now,
How long has that been going on though? Kings Canyon cruise.
that's been going on since, I mean, I was in high school, graduated in 85, 81. I mean, it's been there
The
for a
stories I've
while.
got was it was Belmont in the 70s.
Belmont in the
And it went
70s
from Belmont to Kings
to
Canyon.
Kings Canyon. Yeah.
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 Then now today
Now it's
is
Fulton.
Fulton,
Mhm.
Fulton Mall, or
Yeah.
on Saturdays it's Blackstone.
Yeah.
On Saturday, then Sunday is Fulton.
And why are there changes from different cruising areas? I mean, we've got Van Nuys Boulevard over here, or Whittier Boulevard.
They
Or we go to
closed it down.
Hollywood.
They closed
It's
it
just-
down.
They closed
They
it down.
closed it down. So when that whole no cruising
Mhm.
ban started, they banned Kings Canyon from
Fresno
cruising.
took that serious.
They took it
weren't-
serious, and so they stopped cruising everywhere. So now they have Fulton, and that's where everyone goes. So Fulton Mall, it used to be a walkway. You used to walk through
Streets.
downtown Fresno,
Mhm.
and you could just walk. Now they took all that out. Now it's a street, so now they cruise that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
mentioned the Individuals. We can go way back with them when they started,
Yes.
right? But the Fresno Fairgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I've been there. We've shown cars there. The atmosphere was pretty badass. Left a lot of people from cruising from all the way up from LA all the way up to Fresno,
Yeah.
and even farther than that.
Yeah.
it was an impressive show. That whole place was full of people
Yes.
and cars.
Right.
And I've always looked at that as one of the greater memories, going to either Bakersfield, Carnales, Fresno, and then, later on
Yeah.
to Santa Clara Fairgrounds in San Jose.
Right.
What was your first bad influence of lowriding? What got you into it?
Oh, what got me into it? Well, I've been into it a little bit. Originally, I'm from East LA. My brother and I.
What part?
We're alumni. I went to Cantwell.
Oh, God. Should have told me that before this. You went to Cantwell. That's cool, man.
Yeah, 82.
82.
Yeah. So, when I was living in East LA, in high school, I used to ride my bike. I used to see you guys on the mobile. Across the street was the the Imperials.
Right.
I saw those there on Fridays.
group and spirit.
Put on your parking lights are on and all that stuff, and that's the way I got the influence. But to me, what happened was I wanted to get into some type of car club, but the Gangs and Wheels, I've been hearing stories about that, so I really didn't really get into it until I got to Fresno in '93. So in '93, my brother and I came to Fresno. Mostly our family came to Fresno, and we met our neighbor across the street. His name is David Segura. He kind of introduced us to lowriders. And the culture there, he was telling us it wasn't compared to LA, the culture, because of the Gangs on Wheels and all that stuff. So I go, okay, that sounds interesting. So we kind of got hooked on that. And so at one point he goes, hey, you know what? Let's start a car club. What do you guys think? That was David Segura. I go, well, I don't know. He goes, he wanted to bring back an old car club back in the day. And so he went and asked, and he couldn't do it because they wanted the family member, their kids, to bring back the club. So we ended up trying to figure something out. So it was David Segura, David Camaro, Angel, and myself. We're at the front lawn of my mom's house, my mom and dad's house. We're just kicking back and just throwing out names. And then my mom calls me and goes, hey, hey, I need some help. So I want to go help her out. And then when I came back and they said, we got a name for the club. So I go, okay, so what is it? And they said, Eastside. And I go, nah, that sounds like trouble, man. Because there is an Eastside gang in Fresno and things like that. So really didn't want to associate the name with that. And I told him, it sounds like trouble. And well, you're outvoted 3-1 because it was the three guys and it was us four. So I was outvoted. So then I go, okay, if we're going to go that route, I designed the plaque. So I designed this plaque. So I designed it to make it look more classy. Did the E, kind of like architectural E. They did the A like the Santana from the band, and the rest was all basic, with the bar in the ribbon. And once I did that, we had Richard did our casting, and it just caught on.
You guys have always been black and gold?
No.
No. We started out. What was
We were
purple, like
and
royal purple and
purple
gold.
and gold.
Yeah.
We started out, and then when I got on what, 4 months after?
Yeah.
About 4 months after they started the club. That's when I came in. We were purple and gold, and then after a couple of years, we switched it out and went to black and gold. So
Yeah, purple and gold wasn't.
it wasn't the look.
It wasn't the look. Yeah.
If you're a Laker fan, it is.
It is.
yeah.
It is. Right.
What were the car clubs that back in those days?
Car clubs
Who
back
stood
in
out
those
to you the
days,
most before you guys started?
individuals was the big one. And then you had Valley Premiers, Valley Superiors. I believe it was
Fresno Classics.
Fresno Classics.
Fresno's Finest.
Fresno's Finest was out there.
Legacy.
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 And those are all the old clubs that
Yeah.
we had that were just rolling around.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were all cruising together and hitting switches on each other.
No Gang on Wheels back.
No,
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 gang-
no,
wasn't
no,
like that
no.
out there?
That's what that's what got me into it, because it wasn't like that. It was all, everybody knew each other. We hit on switches on each other, but it was all for fun. It wasn't nothing like, I'm going to see you on the boulevard or something's going to happen. Nothing like that happened.
It was a small town.
Small community.
So
Pretty much
you're
everybody knows each
you're
other.
going to run into each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People did go looking for. I'm looking for that car this weekend.
Yeah.
I got new batteries. I got new gears. I got better cylinders. I'm gonna go look for that car this weekend. But nobody
normal.
nobody was throwing chingazos. It was
Yeah.
just wait till the next weekend to see who can do better.
But then that's when the competition came about, when you had these clubs coming into play. And then we came onto the scene. And then now you started with the car shows. Now, hey, we're going against those guys. We're going against those guys. So that's when we started making a name for ourselves, was at the individuals. Then we started branching out. Then we started coming to LA. Then we went to Vegas.
Yeah.
Then we went to Arizona. So we've been branching out. And that's when we really caught fire with the club ourselves.
We just wanted to put Fresno on the map.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted the other car clubs in the community. Hey, if we could do it, you guys could do it too. Go out there and represent your city. You know, it's. I know it back then it was expensive, still is.
Right.
But you know, just get your name out there. And you know, we did it, and it took us a while, but we did it. But now they're doing it now.
Yeah.
They're getting out there now.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope it was because you know
Yeah, they're representing.
they're representing the city. You know.
I think what set Eastside apart from everybody was the LA touch. Louis being from LA, me being from LA, John Mananian, right, from down south, and you get this LA influence, and for some reason, Eastside always kind of was just a little bit of a different look at home in Fresno. When you came down here, it looked like we were from here. When you were at home, like, where are these guys from?
I mean, we enjoyed coming into the Vegas show. You guys were lined up on one side, we were lined up on the other, and it was beautiful. The colors that we had on our cars with the colors of your cars, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. And that's what we looked at, was your cars and your colors that you used. I know I was always talking to Vince because he mostly painted a lot of our cars. I said, hey, candy and flake. Pearls, okay, but candy and flake, pinstriping. I like the thin pinstriping. I mean, that was the look we were going for.
For Eastside, Ralph had the first pink car. Yeah. And when Ralph brought me the car to paint the car, and we argued about it. I said, you need a pink car. No. We're going to paint that car pink. No. Pink. And sure enough, you know, that car ended up amazing. And then here comes John Mananian with Guns N' Roses, candy magenta, candy pink. And you know enough about pink already. How do you turn pink down? It's such an amazing color.
Yeah, the reds, the tones, the lavenders, the purples.
Yeah, right.
You mix in a little bit of gold in there, and good night.
Yeah, good.
That's one of the hardest colors to compete against.
Yeah.
Orange and red's nice.
Yeah.
What was your effect? What got you into all of this?
So I grew up in LA. I went to high school at Roosevelt High
Okay.
in East LA in Boyle Heights.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't have the money for a car. So back then I was out there in just a regular car, cruising Hollywood, cruising Whittier, cruising Rosemead, Crenshaw. I was doing all that. So I didn't meet these guys until 4 years ago?
Yeah.
About 4 years ago. And I already had a bike. And I met Vince because my bike was vandalized. And we won't mention who did it. But it was vandalized, and I met Vince through a friend, and he painted my bike, and that's what I always wanted, was a Vicla. And since I had the insurance money, I was able to use it to turn my bike into a Vicla, and then I bought my '66. So that's what I have now. I have a '66 Cadillac on air. It's on air, but that's what I have right now. So I have I have an '06 Road King that we're working on right now. After he painted it, a couple years later, we tore it all the way down to the frame. So I own a powder coating shop, so I use that to help me out.
Must have a lot of friends, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yes, we like
this
to
is a
shout
unique
that out
club.
to
This
Eagle
is a
Powder
very
Coating
unique
for, for all its powder coating needs.
It's because of that we kind of had to tighten things up, because we kind of allowed ourselves to get taken advantage of some situations, and we kind of tightened the reins on that a little bit, and now it's, you know, now we feel good helping each other, because we know that this person's going to help this person, this one's going to help this one, and everybody together helps get these things done. Because if it's not a collective, it's going to take a guy 5 years to do something without help. So we go to the shop, we hang out, and everybody gets a chance to work on everybody's bike. And whose turn is next? That's really not a question. It's just, this is the one we're doing right now. Let's get it done, get it out, and go on to the next one.
And I want everybody to know we're not just talking about motorcycles, Viclasos, right?
Right.
You have to be to be a member of Eastside, you have to own a car first before you can have a bike, right?
Correct.
What else? What is the culture like out there? What is low riding compared to 3 decades ago? How much has it changed today?
At home,
Because Fresno's grown a lot.
It's grown.
I've watched that city grow big time. So
at home right now, what you really see on the boulevard the most are guys hopping.
Yeah.
You know, they're really into that right now at home. And there's a couple clubs at home that are doing real good things. And they made a real big name for themselves at home.
mhm.
And,
They're traveling a lot.
yeah, they're
That's
moving around.
Just dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're winning.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing real good stuff. And those are the guys. When you go cruising, really, you see those guys out there with
Yeah.
their very nice cars, hitting their switches and having a good time. When I was in high school, when we were cruising back then, and I'm sure it was the same way here, but man, we cruised till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Got an hour of sleep, went to school on Monday with the same crap you had on Sunday because you didn't get no sleep because you were cruising all night long. It's not
go
quite.
back
It's
along.
it's not quite like that anymore. You know, now you know.
Those days.
10, 12 o'clock, you're going
Yeah.
home already. You know,
Yeah.
the PD's got everything shut down. They're not letting anybody hang out in the parking lot till 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the morning anymore. So the dynamics have changed. It's not quite the same.
It's not the same because now you have a lot of the newer generations, Joe. They are now into the Toyotas, the BMWs. They want to get in, go, lower their cars, and just
Drifting.
drift.
Yeah.
So,
and all
you know,
that.
and I've had a problem, and,
Yeah.
and you could see some of my problems I had the last couple episodes because I do worry about the future. You know, it's because we put so much into it. Like I've said before, there is no turning back
Yeah.
when it comes to low riding, even building bikes or cars, and the way they cost today. So, paint jail, $30,000 leather interiors. It's like there's so many roadblocks out there to prevent us from building cars. What's your next car going to take? About 10 years. Why? Oh, it ain't the shop. Is I have to save my money.
Correct.
So with that problem being number one, two is our generation's just not getting involved like they should. Yeah, they are into those other cars and all that. And when there's more of a legacy and history with our classics, if you want to go back to the late 30s, I'll call the Bombs classics too. They're traditionals, you know, the early 70s, the late 60s.
Right.
I mean, those cars don't go away. You can't, they don't make those cars for the last 30, 40 years, right? The style that we like. So how do you instill that into our youth? And that's the problem I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that and get hands-on and explain it to them, it's like when you grow up and you have your family and your kids, right? They see what you're doing. They hear it every night when you're having dinner, breakfast, Sunday, you're at car shows. I mean, that's called hands-on. You wake up in the morning, you're with your parents and you're sucked into this culture real easy. But besides those families, niche families that are into low riding, how do you spread that word out and get those generations to continue what we've done?
I think it's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
But yes, that's a
Yeah.
prime example.
Prime example, you know, bringing him in. I mean, he's got a candied out gold pink pattern bike that is the paint job is beautiful. And, you know, for him to be able to take that information that we give him and now we put it on that platform, that's the kind of things that we like as a club. Is he's taking our words and saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to trust you guys. You know, we have a younger group. We have him, we have my son RJ in the back, we have Rafa over here, you know, we have Tony, which is Matthew's dad. You know, they're coming into this car club scene
As a family.
right? And so they're looking at it and saying, you know, hey,
Show us.
this is what we want to get into. So if we could do that and kind of keep that generation going, to where they want to build. So
And I want everybody to notice as you guys are sitting up here, Eastside Fresno, that's if you're car clubbing.
Correct.
No, not if you're car clubbing. If you're in your car,
Right.
cruising on that scene, but when you switch over and go to the Viclasos, those are the
That's
colors you
Eastside
wear if you're on
Viclas.
your bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
and
What's
we're,
the definition? Though?
so we're
Bikers? Are you guys?
no,
picture
so
bikers?
we're going to say this.
Oh, look at a bunch of
No, no,
bikers,
no.
or are
So-
you guys identified immediately as
We have our
lowriders?
correct.
Yeah.
We've had our colors for 32 years.
Yeah.
We've had our plaque name. So we are an established club, car club in Fresno. So we don't do the biker scene. We're not an MC. We don't go to MC events. We don't do anything like that. We stick with the car world, the car show, car club world. We'll go to Vegas, Arizona, super shows. We'll go to, the original Lowrider car shows. So we do those. We enjoy those shows because, again, family environment. We're able to show what we have in cars and in bikes. So we don't want to be affiliated with that scene because he's kind of been the strong point of staying out of that scene for Vince.
How do you mix them both up though? If there's a car show and there's lowriders and bikes, or do you guys, all the bikes just get together only that certain day and go to an event that's about bikes? So you got just all bikes only,
I'll give you an
all
example.
cars only, or both? How does that happen?
We've done a couple events with Malo and Viclasos, and we had
Yeah.
a wonderful time, and we were treated with so much respect.
Oh yeah. he's a great
Malo's
guy.
really taking care of us and treating us really well.
You guys check out the scene that he has out there in Long Beach,
Oh,
the museum.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
Well, we've been to his.
Yeah, the scale.
yeah.
Yes.
It's hard to get bikers and the clubs that attend that to be in neutral grounds and
Right.
get along with it because it's such a beautiful thing. I mean, he's got a museum and he's got
yeah.
the motorcycle, the Viclaso
Yeah.
art all over the place. Beautiful.
we were
vendors
there-
and
We were there
When
when
you
you,
had
took
Riviera.
your Riviera.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we were.
And we were outside, and we bought I think we bought 3 or 4 brand new bikes, and we put the handlebars and fenders to the wall and put the ass ends out with the plaques and spread them out like a flower, and it was just amazing to see. And it all works out really good. So if we can kind of and it's not to knock the MC guys, it's not that we're better than any of their stuff. It's just we're just gonna stay true to the rolling art, and what we're trying to create, to let everybody know you can do this, we can do it, everybody can do it. You don't have to be somebody so special to go out and build a motorcycle and ride it. You don't have to be a part of an MC. You can come over here and be a part of a car club and have a car and have a beautiful bike.
Mhm.
I've been to a gas station traveling up north, and you guys were all there. I had to get gas real quick. I had to jump in my car, and you guys were with your women, the music, everything going, and it was all bikes. And I started to pull out for, and I ride a bike. I got 15 miles on it the last 10 years, but I was going to come out left, and then I saw you guys were getting ready to, you guys were going to leave, and I was just waiting. Do I cut them off, or man, I'm going to run into problems here, or I'm going to get called asshole again? So I waited, and then I go, man, I'm just going to put my head back. How do I act? Because you guys were ready to roll. Let's go. And you're caravanning out. And then I looked at you guys, and you guys were real cool. Man, you got it? And I go, no, you guys first. I'm good. No. You go ahead. I mean, real cool music going on and everything. I jammed. I watched my mirrors and everything, man. There are a lot of beautiful bikes,
Yeah.
paint jobs and everything. Then I got a chance to recognize you guys at, Convention Center, LA,
Correct.
for the shows supporting there, and it's great.
Yeah.
And now you guys are here with our inauguration.
Right.
But we're talking about the youth right now, which is a good thing, and how we keep the future going. What I want to know now, because of this conversation we're having, is usually everybody from up north. When I meet people all over, I'm going to Oklahoma, and I'll ask them, they're all Raider fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they all come from Northern California or Fresno to get away from the gangs environment because their parents moved them out. And here we're going into the neck of the woods in East LA and everything. We're talking about gangs on wheels, and you're moving to Fresno. So it's a big culture shock. There is a difference, but every area's got, and there's no bad reflection on gangs. It's all about pride. It's all about a name, and it's just like playing football and basketball. There's just different teams and different colors.
When we moved to Fresno, our family, we felt, when we moved to Fresno, we felt relieved, you could say, because we felt in East LA, we felt enclosed, no elbow room. It's like it's always quick movement. It's always on the move. And then you don't want to when you're walking down the street, you don't want to make eye contact, because once you make eye contact, right there the trouble starts. What's up? Like that. So my attitude was just okay, just keep on going. So when we got to Fresno, brother and I were just hanging out. What was that, Frisco's or burger place? Just checking it out, and we saw a couple of people walking by, and then it was like, okay, don't make eye contact because you don't want to start into trouble. But the thing was that they said hello, hey, hi, good evening, and we're kind of like, oh shoot, okay, oh, what, so we're responding, oh hi. So they're friendly, it's not compared to the people here, like, here in LA. It was the culture there was really friendly. I was surprised. It took me a while to open up and be friendly back, in the sense like when I see somebody, I'll say, hey, how you doing? Before I never did that. And now I'm glad that we moved, more friendlier. I get to know these my fellow members here, and we just moving forward.
I think that now that you have family, you come down to visit all the time though,
Yeah.
right? So you're still on edge. You come down here. There's not
yeah.
that much difference. It has changed. It's not so much a gang on wheels anymore.
Right.
I think it kind of started dying out in 76, 77.
Right.
And everybody just took off, and everybody's threats never really panned out. And it's just been different since then. And all those old guys that started that trouble want to come back now, and they're back in their clubs again, and they still exist, and they're jumping into it, and they missed out all those good times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but going on up there and seeing that whole atmosphere and the shows and everything as compared to the way it was down here, it's more humble, it's more innocent that way.
Oh yes, yeah. We got to the Cow Palace. Met a couple of car clubs there, especially Frisco's Finest.
Yeah.
Very nice people.
New style.
With
Frisco's
Doug.
Finest. They're partying more than we are here at the bar, especially probably right now on a Monday morning.
Oh yeah.
Those guys are too much. Great club.
When we first
Family first.
Family first.
when we first went there to
the Impalas too.
Yes.
when we went to the Cow Palace, they never seen us before, so they approached us, and he goes, "Oh, Eastside, you guys from Fresno?" I go, yeah. Well, and no trouble whatsoever. I go, hey, welcome to the San Francisco Cow Palace. Hopefully you enjoy the show and this and that, and we got to know them.
Yeah, that's when we were venturing out.
Yeah, we're venturing out.
That's what we were doing. Is we didn't want to be a local club, and in all seriousness, when you look at when I was growing up and seeing cars, I was seeing the lifestyle cars. I was seeing the colors, and so when I had the chance to join the club, that was my thing. Is we need to go loud. We need to go flakes, candies, because this is what these guys are doing. So, we wanted to roll into car shows, and we wanted people to stop what they were doing and look at our cars before the show even started. And that's what we got. That's the effect we got when we were showing our cars.
Do you set the standard pretty much, or
at the time, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about now though?
And now there's clubs around now. There's
some members in Travel Team right now
Travel
that are
Team
at
that
home that
they're
they're putting it down.
Yeah,
you
that club is-
you can't deny it. You'd be hating if you deny it. They're putting it down right now.
Yeah, I give them a lot of props.
they're representing.
Yeah.
That's good for all of Lowrider.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the future when you come out and just bust out
Yeah.
with a few cars
Yeah.
that raise the bar.
Yeah.
It keeps us going, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we're just all going to become a dying breed eventually.
Right. Yeah.
That's why it's important that people like Matthew, that he has a 62 Impala sitting at home in his garage on 13s already, and he's got this bike. We might do a little more to the bike, and then we'll be able to get our hands on that car. And
How old are you, Matthew?
I'm 23.
So what influenced you? Exactly what influenced you? Because you've seen lowriders
Yeah.
and you've seen the drifters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's 4x's that are out there. There's a lot of things you can get into. You can get a brand new Tahoe and slam it on the floor with 30s, right?
Yeah.
But what is it? What sold you? And I hope it's not family or friends or a neighbor. What made you go that way? Is it something when growing up, model cars, bikes? What caught your eye? Because you're important in this conversation.
Yeah, I think growing up, it was just seeing them. And sorry to disappoint, but when I was younger, my dad did have it. Actually, the Impala I own now
Yeah.
was his. And he got it when I was real young. I had always seen him, you know, but never like up close. Like we weren't like going to low riding shows and all that. But he got it when I was younger, and it was just kind of a thing where we would take like Sunday drives when he would get it to act right. And then just as I got older and older, I just wanted it and wanted it and wanted it. And then he just he didn't want to give it to me because it needed work, and I think he just didn't want to give me that headache. But I just wanted that car. I was dead set on having that specific 62. And eventually I got to, I think it was senior year in high school, because I just graduated 2020. Well, I guess not just graduated, but in 2020 I was a senior, and I got sent home during COVID. And I had been working like pretty much my ass off because I wanted that car. I wanted to fix it up. And when they sent me home during COVID, I actually went to go work with my dad at the shop full time. And then I ended up, I was able to fix it up that summer to get it nice and running. You know, it still needs a lot of work. I still need to put on juice. I still need to fix a lot of cancer spots. But yeah, I mean, just to get back to your original question, it was just seeing it when I was young. I just thought they were so cool. You know, watching the cars and hearing that was always super cool to me.
Back for us, if you had a good job and you had a car payment and that was it, and put the wires on and wire yourself down, and here you go. Right now, these cars are 60 years old, and you have to start from the ground up. I don't know anybody that doesn't remove their frames to start a car now. And back in the days, you never touched that bowl because it would never go back on the same, right? What are the shops like for you to help you out? Because if I was young again, I have to look back at all of this. I'm not going to touch anything that's 60 years old. It doesn't have a backup camera. What, I got to look in my mirror? Oh, damn, there's nothing here on the door. So I got to adjust that camera. And then I got drum brakes. Why am I putting this? I'd rather just be on my phone all day. And that's what the younger generation's doing, right? So how do you remodify these cars and bring them up to date, but never take the outside away? Because the outside looks are better than anything that's out there on the outside. Right. But you want to put all the inside ingredients from today's brand new cars and the rides and everything. You want to instill that into what you have today. Having said that, what are the shops like out there in your part of California? And I'm going to tell everybody right now, so we know. From Southern California, you guys are about 4 hours. Once you get past that grapevine, the Carnadas Unidos are in Bakersfield. A couple more hours, you're in Fresno.
Right.
And then you just keep on going up, and there comes Stockton, here comes San Jose, Oakland, Sacramento, and San Francisco, right?
In the middle.
You're right in the middle of California.
Yeah.
There's if you consider the whole valley, I mean, there's been some amazing car builders, you know, lowriders to come out of the whole valley in its entirety, you know. In Fresno, there's a handful of shops that are still doing a really good job, but we're not turning Fresno's not turning cars out every month like it was for a time, you know.
Nobody is.
Yeah, nobody is.
Nobody is now.
It's taken quite a while, but I believe right now, I think S&K has got it handled. You know, they're in Visalia. They're doing the most right now. You hear about them all the time. You see them. They're consistently putting out some really nice stuff. Myself, I don't do too much anymore. I work on boats full time. You know, I do the same paint jobs on these bikes that I do on boats. So when I get to the shop, it's evenings, weekends, you know, a beer here and there, and try to get some work done when we can. It's not a full-time job anymore, so it takes even longer to get something done.
Yeah. I mean, we have engine shops in Fresno. We have body shops in Fresno. We have guys that do custom work, things like that. Our powder coating shops out there. So we have upholstery shops out there. So, you know, dealing with those, we still have all those guys that we can go back to if we really want to get into it again. But you know, like, hey, everyone's gotten older. The upholstery guy that was 45 years old, he's now 65, you know, and
you can't even do it.
And he's not even the stripers
their hands and
and you talk about you know, passing that passing that down,
Yeah.
they're not passing that down. So
People are not anymore. People are not wanting to give up their secrets, and it shouldn't be a secret, because if you don't give that up, nobody's gonna know. And when you die, that secret dies with you, and you're not. That's
There's
not.
a lot of guys out there that artists, stripers, upholsters, that do take it with them.
yeah.
And they don't think that to hand it down to somebody else and go through 20, 30 years of that craftsmanship experience, I'm going to give it to you. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to respect it? And that's what I'm talking about today's youth too. It's hard to let go. You have to teach them hands-on, but you could tell if they're really into it and they want to invest 30 years. You can't do it in 3 days. They have to understand. You have to make them understand it. You guys have been low riding and building cars for a long time. So eventually all of us pick up some type of trait where, we're a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Sure.
But we can get our cars halfway built. We know something.
Correct.
So when I'm talking because we're all, whatever you guys go do right now, this weekend, you represent all of us. And whatever we do, we represent you. We're all in this whole world together. And we're a reflection of ourselves, right?
Right.
It's us. But you need to get out there hands-on and show everybody that when you buy a 61 Impala bubble top muscle car and you're going to turn it into a lowrider, that motor, you got to know the whole history of it. Not just the history of lowriding, the paint, the interior, everything. What's behind the car you're going to build? I don't care if it's a 66 Rivy, 61 bubble top. You have to understand the car. Not just that car, you have to understand all of them because they're all beautiful. We've been trapped in the 60s and 70s with these cars and Grand Prix, Rivieras, Cadillacs, and all that. And we should all know everything about being in a car club. You got Cadillacs and Lincolns, you got LTDs, you got Impalas, you got Caprices. We should know years, makes, and models all the time. All of us do. So we're already educated. And you can figure the rest of it out. Technology didn't change that much. But we all pick up a trade and we're good at something to keep this thing going. Because if not, it would cost us $300,000 to build a car when you go back and think about it.
Right. And that's a good thing too, about being in a club, right? You have resources. So, we have a powder coater guy that's in the club. We have a fabricator guy. We have guys that work on engines. We have guys that work on the bikes. You have Rafa that helps us out just tremendously working on these bikes, tearing them down, putting them together. You have Sonny Morales, our fabricator guy. So he does a lot of our fabricating. And just the artwork that he does. And then you talk about powder coating. Most of all these bikes have the powder coating on them.
But how do you do that as a car club though? Because if you're building engines, that poor engine guy is going to be busy for a couple years.
Oh, he's
right?
going to be busy.
Or the powder coat guy is always busy, and so are you. But you're doing it for a club member.
Exactly.
So you're not doing it in the beginning. If you do it for free and because you want to be a nice guy, you accept something in return. But if you don't need a favor, then you put yourself out. So you either barter or you got to charge. How do you guys do that? Because they're car club members and you're trying to make your club kick ass over everybody else's.
Well, that's part of it.
Is it a discount? Yeah, I mean, is there a
Well,
discount? Because you got to exchange some money
No,
there.
what it is, it's kind of a thing of Ruben. I'll take Ruben for example. Ruben, when I was building my bike, really helped out tearing it down. A lot of ideas, help putting it together, more ideas, things like that. And when we were sanding, he was sanding. So in turn, I come out and do the same thing to his bike. Hey Ruben, I need some powder coating here or there. And he goes, hey man, I got you. We'll take care of that. So it helps out, right? And we all try to help with each other's bikes.
He's asking for. I'll let you answer, but basically he's asking for, hey, cover the cost of the material and
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Cover the cost of the material.
Yeah.
So if I'm really busy, it might take a little longer than than what you want.
I would say that being in this club, and not everybody sees it this way, but I would say that being in this club, being in your club, being in anybody's club, it's an honor and a privilege. and you have to respect that. And when you do get to the club and you are an active member of the club, then you get to receive these added benefits that allow you to do this. Because, like, you're right, if you're on your own, you're just a single guy in a garage living in Timbuktu, and you're trying to build yourself a car or a bike, and you don't know anybody, you're gonna be $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get steered in so many different directions. You're never going to end up what you really wanted, because you don't know. You just says, I'm going to charge you this, and you just go pay it because you don't know anybody. You don't know any better. You didn't know that you could have had this instead of this. So the collective, it's an honor, and it should be treated as such. And in doing that, you get everybody's, valued time. Instead of being at home with the wife and the kids or the dog or whatever it is, we're together trying to help each other.
Yeah, we have a shop that we go to. And, not my shop. It's actually Vince's shop that he works out of. And it's not the shop that he paints his boats in. That's his 9 to 5. We actually have a shop on the side.
Turns into a clubhouse after a little while.
Kind of,
You gotta
yeah,
clean up. Yeah, it does get old after a little while. People do take advantage. How many members are in Eastside right now?
Currently 13 right now.
13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of
drama?
members. No drama. I mean,
No
there's
drama at all these years, nothing.
Well, I mean,
Is it the atmosphere because you guys are kind of innocent and
See,
humble out that way?
now, when it comes to the Viclas right now for Eastside, it's a little bit laid back right now. But, but for the car club, that's a different story. That's a different animal. That one's a little bit more stricter compared to the bikes. We're a little bit more laid back for the V-Class. Gilbert has a big job to take care of, because he has to continue on where I left off.
Everybody follows a leader, though. You've been there forever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be smart. You have to have a lot of strength being a leader like that to be around this long.
Oh yeah.
You have to go to a good school. I could tell by your ring there. You bring that on purpose too, huh? God damn. Oh wow.
He's been waiting to tell you
I've
this.
been wanting to tell you this, Joe.
Since we spoke in Las Vegas, he's been waiting to tell you this.
Yeah. So eventually it will be an opportunity.
My brother graduated. Well, he didn't graduate there. He got in too much trouble at Cantwell. So he graduated in '78. Still a little bit before you. But I mean, it takes a certain type of man, to run a club that long.
Right. Yeah.
And to understand everything that's going on. But it does help, though. Even having that amount of members, it's half the problems other car clubs, the bigger car clubs have. Or if they want to indulge in chapters, then you're really asking for drama now, So even it's just all over the place today.
Yeah. When it comes to chapters, we discussed this. We decided no chapters. Yeah. For us, it's just, we're just local, Fresno. We like the guys that we have. We don't need anything from other cities, or other states, or anything like that.
We have a couple members from out of town, but they frequent Fresno so much that it's really they're there with us anyway.
How far north? Farther north or south?
Just in the surrounding valleys, you get guys that are 50 miles here, 20 miles there, 15 miles that way. We got one member who lives in Vegas but works in Fresno. So, and he's from Fresno originally. So, it kind of works out. But yeah, it's just Eastside is just one place in Fresno.
You really find out when somebody's like 30, 40, 50 miles away and they still make that trek, how important the club is, or I should say 200-300 miles away, and they still make every meeting.
Right.
It tells you must be doing something good that they're going to take that time to do that traveling, right?
Yeah. With the car club, I had members from Hanford. What other place? Did we have anything in Visalia? We have members surrounding Fresno. Yeah, and whenever we have our meetings, they all show up. It's we kind of. We pick a date right after our meeting. We'll pick a date. We'll make sure that everybody can make it. So everybody agrees on that day. So once that the date gets closer, I kind of remind everybody. And then once I remind everybody, the day of the meeting, they all show up. Yeah. And those are the guys that really okay, these are the good guys. They're dedicated,
What style of cars are allowed and your standards to join your club? First of all, to join your club, how many meetings do you have to come to?
You have to come to everyone. All of our meetings you have to come to.
But how many are you supposed to join? How many consecutive
Oh,
meetings.
before you even get into the club?
Yeah,
That's it. That's goes on. So when we get a new member into our car club, whoever is looking to come into the club, let's say I have a guy that wants to get into the club, Louis says, hey, listen, you're taking care of that guy. All information comes from you. I don't want to deal with him right now. So when he gets in the club, that's when Louis takes care of it. So when he's trying to get into the club, I'm talking to him, letting him know, hey, we have a meeting, we have this going on, this going on. You need to make the meetings. So it takes a while. It could take 6 months. It could take a year. It just depends on what he's doing, what he's showing us to be a part of this club. And then once he gets into this club, then that's when Louis goes ahead and starts talking to him about, the club functions and what we got going on.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be, because for him, if I'm bringing this guy in and he's not working out, then I'm telling the guy, hey, you're not working out and you're not going to be a part of this. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
You guys sound like a chain of command, President,
Pretty
Sergeant,
much.
Pretty much
Pretty much,
president,
yeah.
vice president, no
Yeah,
secretary.
I was the one that would
Yeah.
be
treasurer,
yeah.
No treasurer.
No
I-
He
treasurer?
would take care of
I
that.
took care of that. I
Yeah.
took care of that.
collect dues and
Yeah.
all that
Collect
stuff.
dues and all that. Yes.
Fines, no SWAT.
Fine.
Both of these gentlemen fulfilled all the
SWAT.
Well, we
You could
do,
die now if you get old enough.
I know,
to
right.
Take a
I-
SWAT. You
yeah.
could
we
die.
do have a paddle, Joe.
DOA, right?
It's in my fireplace right there.
You have your own bylaws.
Yes. Yes.
Are you guys trademarked?
Yes, we're service mark.
Even living in Fresno, you have to do that, right?
Yeah, we did that. It's
I
a
suggest
service
to
mark.
everybody out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because things have changed, especially the last 3 years. Things do change, and you need to protect. You need to protect the beginning when it all started.
Yeah.
That way, nothing changes, and you get your bylaws going, and you get that trademark of ownership. Because, everybody's having their civil wars because of that sometimes, and somebody else jumps ship and gets the trademark before the
Exactly.
right people that should own that, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other responsibilities being out there? You guys kind of hold your own in Fresno, and
Pretty
the
much.
cruising scene is
It's alive and well.
Yeah.
It's alive and
it gets kind of hot out there, though,
well.
right?
It gets real
Yeah.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been out there for a couple shows, a few of them
Right. Yeah.
with Lowrider at the fairgrounds where the individuals were at. I think one was 108, and the last one with BT Productions, I think, was in there with Lowrider, and it was 114.
Yeah.
That's
the
crazy.
air
But
conditioning-
the atmosphere and the whole thing was like
They're used
badass because the fair, right?
Right. Yeah.
It used to be packed. I mean, every square corner of that place, there was a car or something. There was a Toyota 4x4 truck, a motorcycle. There was lowriders. It was packed, and it was wonderful. And the music was good. The entertainment was great, and it was just fun. It was just a good time.
What is it though? What is going on out there? Because I can go into any town and travel, even with lowrider, and the economy is not that great, and lowriding is a culture, but it is also novelty, sport, hobby, because we build cars, we paint them. I mean, we're building larger scale model cars. We're having fun. We haven't grown up. But the economies in different cities are always going to be different. And anytime you promote or throw a show, you got to worry about who you're going to have there. You got to collaborate with all the car clubs, bring hopefully their finest cars, get the flyers out there, whatever it's going to do, radio time, whatever we do today. But how do you get that crowd to come in? You can't be charging $50, $60 to come to a show anywhere, and that's anywhere. And the way the economy is right now, poor guys that have to travel and bring out, trailer their cars and all, and I've talked about that. It's crazy to do that. But how come, to me, is it the weather? Is it a certain kind of entertainment? Is there a certain kind of music that Fresno wants to hear only? Not the new stuff, not the old school.
Right.
How do you actually throw a show out there to get the crowd to come out, besides lowering the ticket prices, getting the clubs to come out, getting everybody from all over to bring their cars out and have a successful show like in Fresno? Because I seen some shows there that, damn, it kicked ass though it was still hot. But when is the right time to do a show there? And how do you get everybody to come out? What does it take?
Well, first
Because
thing
the culture's large there.
Oh yeah. First thing first, we're in Fresno. We're in the center of California.
Right.
So a lot of people from up north come down south. A lot of people from down south come up north, and
Right.
they meet right in the middle,
Right.
and that's where they come and meet and they compete and socialize and get together. Fresno, with the individuals, we had cars coming up north, south. That was
It was one of the longest running
longest running
car
shows.
shows that a car club was throwing in Fresno. It was one of the longest running ones, and they just stopped what 15 something
Yeah,
years ago.
around there. Yeah.
So yeah, it's again, we're in the center. We still have that low riding culture there.
Right.
How do you get
Joe?
it back to those days? Because I know the individuals kind of restarted it again, but it wasn't the same scene.
Correct.
Yeah, they kind of cut it a little bit short in the sense of they used to have a dance
Yeah.
on a Friday night. I think it was a Friday dance on a Friday night. Then Sunday was the show, or was it Saturday the dance?
Saturday dance.
Then the show was on Sunday for the individuals. But now that Pete, he's the president. Pete's is already retired and things like that. So pretty much, he had to close everything out. But the thing is that like right now, the Valley or Fresno, it's a little bit hungry for a show. Lately, like last year, like the
For a
East Side
quality show.
for a good quality show. Last year it was that East Side Story. They came to Fresno. It was packed. Because they're hungry for a show. They're hungry to see the cars, see the entertainment, see the
Oh,
concert.
that was the Thump Records, huh?
That was Thump
Thump
Records.
Records, yeah.
Thump Records. And when they did that, yeah, it was great. It was a good show, and you saw the people enjoying, having a good time at the concert. They're all dancing, and it was wonderful. And they're coming back again. And I hope.
It's gonna be a little while before anybody can fill that place like the
The old days, right?
Yeah,
because when they did it, you're seeing Too Short. He's out there putting on a great show. You got a bikini contest. We don't do that no more, right? You got the tough guy contest, and you got these hop, and you got the dance. And at that time, it was car dancing. Now everybody wants to see the hop. Back then, people really want to see that car dancer. They want to see that car going round and round and round and running from the car.
Truck bed dance.
The truck bed dancing, right?
They want to see a coil or something start firing. the trunk.
You want to see a ball joint break and something shoot out. It's not like that anymore.
But you gotta admit too, the like we were talking about with the current, we talk about the hoppers, the car clubs, that just dipping. They're holding it down over there in Fresno, and they got some nice cars.
They have an
They're
event coming up.
hopping. They got an event coming up this weekend.
Family friendly, no charge.
They're going out to Kearney Park, one of our oldest parks in Fresno, and they're going to use that for their event over there. And we are hearing that there's going to be a lot of clubs from
All over the state.
LA and Northern California coming to Kearney Park.
And these guys have enough respect. These guys are leaving all their politics
Oh,
aside.
yeah.
Mhm.
And they're going down there and they're hopping cars.
Yeah,
and
so
you
they're-
win, you
they're-
win, you
they're-
lose, you
they're doing a
lose.
great-
You have a barbecue, and at the end of the day, you go home and everybody's happy.
Yeah, they're
And you
doing
had
a
a good
great
time.
job. They're doing a great job holding that part of the lowrider scene, of the hopping scene, together. They're holding it together out there. So
What do you guys do though for events, charity events?
We've
You do your own shows? Have you done your own?
No, we talked about that, but shows are too risky and liability.
We
we
talked
throw
to Mama.
dances.
yeah, we threw dances.
That was easy money for us.
Yeah.
Is
We
throwing
would throw
dances.
car club dances.
Yeah, car club dances.
So we would
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, we
Oh,
would have we'd invite all the car clubs, and
yeah,
we have car clubs coming from Northern California.
yeah.
I mean, it was nice.
It was
back in
nice.
the day doing that.
Yeah, at first we were trying to do an event, so we talked about the car, do a car show. I go, man, that's a lot of money, trophies, entertainment, all that. And then I go, well, you know what's easy? Make a quick buck for one day, a dance. Rent a hall, DJ, and
Yeah.
the facility will probably sell the liquor and the beers and whatever, and whatever we make out of the door, we keep because
Less headaches.
Yeah.
less headaches. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you also mentioned, what do we do as far as, maybe giving back to the community, right? So we've done turkey giveaways.
Turkey.
We've done Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
So
toy
we've
drives.
done toy drives. We've done
Yeah.
things like that as a club. So, and that was, again, Joe, that was a while back ago. So now we're getting back into the swing of things with the bikes. So we're getting out there and putting our name out there again. And now a lot of us are kind of getting back with the car scene.
We have this Pismo event coming up, and so for this event, the owner of the show, Keisha, and her husband do a auction. And so we've provided Snap-on Toolbox, $1,000 worth of tools, 2 beach cruisers, purse for the women, and a paint store gave up $500 of credit. All this is giving to her for her to auction off. So that's right now that's our way of giving back. We're not donating any money, but we're donating things that they can auction off. And that's the best way we can help right now. Just getting going again with the Viclas, and we're using Eastside Vicla as we're the ones presenting this to them for their auction.
That's good. Giving back to the community, though, even though you've done it so many times, turkey drives we do.
Right.
Haven't done a Toys for Tots thing with our club in quite a while, but those things go a long ways. I think I was at Dodger Stadium last year one time, and the person sitting down from me, maybe a couple aisles down, stood up, came over and says, "You know what? Not for you guys. The Obregon Park. Okay. You guys did a charity event for us and donations and a little show and you raised enough money. And that's what got me my football jersey for my school. And I'll always remember that. And I'll never forget it. And I just want to thank you guys right in front of his kids and all that. And we just sat there and we took a seat back and we remember those times that we did that. And we haven't done it in a long time, but I mean, I'm talking here preaching the low riding Bible, but we haven't done things for the community in a long time too. That could probably help our younger generation out there. We went back to that. We did those because those values go a long ways.
We spoke about possibly coming this fall, winter holiday season, picking up elementary school that we may have went to in town and going down, asking the school, what do you need? How can we help you? How can this club give you something that you guys need? I went to school in the East Side, so that's something that we're going to cross that road as it gets a little bit closer.
Yeah.
As we almost come to a close, I should say last call, as we almost come to a close of this show, where do you think the culture, not just in Fresno, where do you see the culture going from here? Because it's so much bigger now. That pie just got bigger. It's all over the world. But where do you see it? Setting examples, reaching out to our youth. Where are we going from here? There's a lot of, social media, good and bad. But I'm sure you guys see it just as much as we do down here. And when you think back, you obviously enjoy what you have, and you cannot take it for granted. But when you look at all low riding as a whole, what do you think? What would be your advice, especially coming from you, Louis? Religion, Catholic high school.
Oh, no, bring up Catholic high schools. Well, it's so far it's going good. It's the culture is, knowing the way you said it, that it's expanding. It's all over the world. It's just we just got to make sure that our traditions continue on with our younger generation, and moving forward on that, and which it is. So I'm pretty happy with that.
One of the things that we've done, and it wasn't something that we tried to do. It was, we'd get together, 5 or 6 of us, go down to River Park and park our bikes to go have a beer at the brewery. And then we come out and there's a mob of kids looking at the bikes, and there's parents with their little kids just in awe because of the colors and everything. And I think at least, when you see that and you see these little kids that are just in awe looking at, it's not a stock bike. Nothing about these bikes are stock. I think doing some stuff like that, because, car shows and bike shows are one thing. Some of these kids aren't going to be able to go to those things. But when we're going out to and putting our bikes out into the community, doing what are these, the trunk or treats during Halloween.
Parades.
Mhm.
You did the
And
parade.
we did the
do
parade.
parades, yeah.
And we did that parade in some little, what was the name of the little town?
Kerman.
And it was in Kermit, it was a little town, and it was, the bikes just they got so much attention,
Oh, yeah.
and they wanted to get on them, take pictures on them, and it was doing stuff like that. Besides the car shows, I think will bring in more people. My son grew up as he's a race guy. That's what he likes. He likes NASCAR and stuff like that because he grew up in Georgia. That's where I lived for 14 years, and then I moved back to California. And I wanted to move back because of this.
Mhm.
I was craving low riding and cruising and the bikes, and it's I don't want to knock Georgia, but that's the scene over there is not like it is here,
Right.
and
But there is a scene.
yeah, there is.
There are
It
good
is.
people out there.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah. It's
you
just a
need
little
more
different.
mentors out there.
Yeah, and my son now, he's just turned 23. He wants a Vicla. That's what he wants to do now. So I turned him around.
What about you, Matthew? Well, you're sitting around a few mentors that are around you right up here, right? You're a rookie. I don't mean no disrespect. You're new into this.
Mhm.
There's going to be a time where some of us are in the fourth quarter already, and we're going to leave you alone out there. So how do you build the future? How do you build upon it, what you have right now? How do you get everybody's attention? You're young, you're in your early 20s. What's wrong with everybody else out there? How do you get their attention? How do you poison them?
I don't know. I've been trying. I think the biggest issue right now is just kind of the economy. So I just kind of gotta, like, even some of my friends, like, they've mentioned it, like they've never been around lowriders, but just seeing me do it, it's kind of piqued their interest, but they just can't really afford to right now. So I don't know. I just think we just gotta show more and more people, because like even like, I know I'm still pretty young, but like even when I ride around and there's little kids that they see it, it's just like you could see like lights go off in their head. Like I've had kids ask me to rev it. I've had kids ask me if they can rev it. I always let them. But I think it's just, you just got to get exposure to it.
Anything that you see around here, it's easy to get there, but it wasn't that easy when you first started.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah, that I think.
And that's why we're involved in it so much.
Right.
That's the whole problem. It's because if it took me about 10 streets, 20 freeways, 20 years to get to this point, and I can show you that, and you can get there in about a year, it's not good. You have to earn it.
Yeah.
And then that's why you appreciate what you have in all the BS,
Yes.
the trials and tribulations, but mostly all your friends and your car club members coming together to get you there, to complete it.
Mhm.
That's the lessons. That's what we have to teach as mentors. We have to teach the students so that, because if you don't earn it, then you're not real and you won't respect it. We just started the American Lowrider Cultural Foundation to do that.
Mhm.
And I have my ways and how I want to teach. How I run a car club right now, and it doesn't matter how old they are, I still have to teach. But what's important right now for all of us out there and all the different car clubs is start up. Sometime give everybody a skill set so they can get hands-on, get dirty, get calluses, and figure things out. But it's like the toys, the guys that design toys today. They got to go to a little 5, 6-year-old little kid and see what they like, or try to ask them and get a conversation so they could build the right toy and everybody buys it. And Christmas, it's a sensation, right?
Right.
We need the youth to reach out to and say, you want our attention? Yeah, we are a different breed now. You're not going to take away my cell phone, but if you want my attention, respectfully and patiently, I like to learn your craftsmanship. I like to learn about lowriding is different from all cultures because it's an artistry. We depend also on our youth. We're trying to reach out, but it goes both ways. Got to meet us halfway. So if you have any advice,
No, I would just say,
you know my email. Just send me, hey, Joey, I'd like to see this, and
Yeah.
I'll help out to get the organization moving forward.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But what would you say? It just,
Yeah, it's just I think, not necessarily, because I've been pretty lucky. These guys have opened the doors for me, and they put me on a lot of game. Like even with the bike, I kind of knew I wanted candy paint. I didn't know where to go, and Vince was very like idea heavy on like, oh, this would be cool, or you mix these two colors together, you do this pattern, put a pattern here, stripe here. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew candy, but I would say maybe open the doors, maybe try and more outreach, friendly faces maybe, because I know it is kind of intimidating, like dipping your toes like into building when you first get started. Yeah, I had no idea where to start with that thing. I just knew I wanted a bike, and my uncle kind of just steered me in the right direction. And then I met these guys. They're very open. Like they share a lot. I think that's kind of the major point. Like they share a lot. They don't gatekeep like information. They let me know, how this started up, why they do this, or just information like that.
I think to answer your question, I think maybe going down to a junior high school where they're
Yeah.
right at that age where they're ready to start and say, hey, let's get together the principal and put together a group of kids who good students, good people, and pay for them and send them down to a car show. Hey, we're gonna take a off to school field trip and we're gonna take 20 kids down to a car show without their parents so they can be themselves and spark some interest.
I went to Garfield High School and did that. Spanx the Imperials, and I represented my club. Went down there, spoke to a handful of students from Garfield High School, and and the teacher there was a mechanics class because we were raised in East LA, and that was where lowriding all began. According, well, that's what we think if you've brought up in that neighborhood, but predominantly every 10 cars, 8 of them were lowriders, right? So I sat down in front of a class, and usually when you go and speak in front of a class, you got 2 or 3 people that are going to pay attention to you out of all the students, because they want to go to recess, they want to do something. They don't want to hear all your old war stories. But that class, they wanted to become upholsterers, painters, welders, modification, build motors. They were just all into it. In fact, I got bored with my own conversation, but they wanted more. And it was a great thing. Just great. So the youth, it's out there and they want to learn. It takes a big responsibility to afford this. But eventually in time, those students like yourself, you're going to learn all his colors and you put pink with red and do the gold and all that. And there's going to be a time that you're going to see enough of it and you're going to get in there and help and mask and make sure they're going to teach you how to mask up a car, how to paint a car. You're going to learn all that engines. There's a criteria and a skill set for building motors, taking apart a frame, painting a car or bike, upholstering those seats. And you're going to learn. You may not like it. You may never open up that shop. And this is for all the youth that's out there. But one day is going to come where you're going to see enough of it. And then you're going to decide, I want this color. It goes with that color. I'm going to try this differently. And then you get to experience on your own. And that's when you get your diploma and you graduate. And that's what we got to do. We just got to get these kids to come to class.
Yeah, and the thing is too, you look at the generation though, Joe. Back then when we were in high school in the 80s and the 70s, it was hands-on. You learn as you go. Now it's everything's social media. So when you talk about how do we get that information out, it's things like this. It's a podcast. It's things like this that are going to get that information out because this younger generation are on these phones all the time. And so they're looking at this stuff. So the more that we can get out, the more information you can put out on, colors and engine work and hydraulics, things like that. That's what these kids look at. A lot of us, it's all hands-on. And so this next generation of builders, that's their platform is social media.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Last call again there, Louis. Shout outs. Why are you here?
Why
Who would you like to give thanks to?
Oh, I'm going to give thanks to my family, my members. Couldn't do this without these guys. Also, Yvonne, who did our Heritage Month. I want to thank this guy. I want to this Ruben.
We have.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
Eagle powder coating. We have Cycle Smith, Steady Customs.
Yeah.
We have our pinstriping Dan. We have
No neighbors, uncles,
uncles. We
yeah.
we have all them, and we have
Yeah.
all the people that we use
wives.
in our system of how we build. That's all our contacts, right?
Yeah.
And without all those companies and all those brands that we have, that's who we're giving thanks to, because hey, they're going out on a limb with us, and so you look at guys from Vidi's Design in Italy, they're coming in to play. Cycle Smiths, it's Luis, the engravers that put their artwork on our bikes, right? The Luis Rodriguez's of the world.
Malo.
Malo's a
Malo
big
gives us a
one
lot of
in the
respect.
Vicla culture.
I don't think he understands the power he has. He's a
Oh
great guy.
no,
Oh no, he doesn't.
He
That's why I love him. to
That's
death.
right.
That's what I love. That's
Just down to earth.
He's one of those trendsetter cultural kind of guys that is putting the Vicla culture in that's everyone's understanding what it's about. And so when you got guys like that, you got guys that are in Texas, that are holding it down out there.
Those guys are making a big
Yeah,
impact and
yeah.
making it approachable to people that
Yeah.
you can see these guys on their bikes and these aren't scary crazy people.
Yeah.
These are approachable people. Hey, how you doing? That's a beautiful bike.
Those are the 13th Street guys. I mean, those guys are putting it down, and this isn't just a fad. It's not just something. Hey, I just want to do it today. No, it's
a way of life.
Forever.
it's a
Be there for
culture.
a long time. Yeah.
Anybody else? As we come to a close with the show, then, guys, this is a unique premiere of the Boulevard Cantina from the Central Valley of California, everybody. From Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, if you want, even Orange County, all the way up to San Jose, San Francisco Bay Areas, but right smack in the middle is Fresno, California, and it's represented by the Eastside Car Club. You guys are very welcome here, man. I got to get you guys to come back, and we'll talk more cars too, just as well. But Louis, you run a pretty good ship, man.
Thank you.
I could see handing it over sometimes is very hard, and you got to trust those who take it.
It was very hard. It was very hard, but I can do both.
Got a good crew here, and behind us back here too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys, I don't know how to say this, but man, it was a great show, man. And I appreciate having you guys up here.
Thank you for inviting
We'll
us.
continue on. The cameras will go off, but there's plenty more drinks or whatever we need to do
Salud.
here. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Salute to everybody here.
Thank you.
Great show. All right, everybody. So there's another episode of the Wired Down Show here at the Cantina. Looking forward to next week. Who knows where we're going to be at Legends Lounge or over here at the garage. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for all your support and being with us. Catch you at the next episode.